Tap that subscribe button and keep it locked here to Secrets to a Free Mind show with your host, Melanie Parker, powered by Quality Girl. In this episode, we'll hear from two caterers on Body Boost, eating to destroy high blood pressure. Keep it locked. Welcome back. I'm Melanie Parker, founder of Quality Girl and your host of Secrets to a Free Mind show, where we help you free your mind, move forward in life. Shout out to Mike Horn at Mike Life Poetry on Twitter for co-designing the cover art and composing the beats. In addition to listening to this podcast, be sure to tap the thumbs up icon, subscribe button, and bell icon to love us, follow us, and receive clips via Twitter on episodes. Let's welcome Karida Celestine and Eric Shuler. Welcome back, Eric.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. Hi, Karida.
Hello, how are you all? Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We're excited to hear what you both have to say. What a pleasure. So, we met Eric Shuler 3 weeks ago via the episode Set the Captives Free, Living After Lockup. So let's meet today, Karida. Who is Karida Celestine?
Well, hello, everyone. Karida Celestine is the owner of Sweet Bazil. Sweet Bazil with a Z is a personal chef and catering company. I did start out with just being a personal chef, but I branched off to being a licensed caterer here in Waldorf, Maryland. And what we do is we actually bring the restaurant experience to you, whether it's in your home or at your venue. If you're going to rent out a space, we will come and decorate. We will bring the fresh flowers. We will bring the whole experience of fresh food, service, and breakdown. So we tend to cater it, but not so much just bring the catering, but we craft menus according to what you need. So if you do have certain dietary restrictions, we can actually craft a menu so that you and your guests can enjoy that meal and have a wonderful event within their means. I have been an executive chef for probably, I would say, I don't want to show my age, but I have been working in the industry as an executive chef for 10 plus years. And I branched out from the, I guess you would say, from being a chef for others and became an entrepreneur in 2014. So that's where Sweet Bazil was born.
Oh, and you do provide Sweet Bazil. I'm telling you, I'm so proud of definitely what you offer to the world, and had the opportunity to be the executive chef at the Smith restaurant.
Yes.
Washington, D.C. And she had nationwide restaurants. And that was one of my favorite restaurants in the city.
Yes, I definitely enjoyed it. I learned a lot from B. Smith. God rest her soul. I really appreciate the fact that she took me underneath her wing and was able to give me that the opportunity to be the executive chef of one of her signature restaurants. And the experiences I've had with her has helped give me the confidence and the ability to grow and do my own business.
Oh, yes. And you definitely have done that. And I'm very proud of you, my sister.
Thank you. Thank you.
Karida, let's discuss colorful food choices, which might we purchase deliberately when at the grocery store or market.
Right. So, of course, we are talking about hypertension. So what we want to focus on are foods that will help expand the blood vessel so that you won't have such a restriction and it won't cause so much pressure on your arteries. So items that you want to look for are beets, leafy green vegetables such as kale, spinach, Swiss chard, collard greens as well, blueberries. So what the items that I'm going to tell you are not so much just color coded, but you really want to look out for the fresh items in the market. Items such as avocados and fresh garlic. One of the things that I try to inform people when I teach them about eating healthier is that when you enter into that grocery store, that market, you want to make sure and go to the outer areas of the grocery store, because that's where you're going to walk in and you'll see the fresh foods on this side, and you'll go a little further back and you'll have the fresh meats, and you go around. But once you start entering into the store, you start to get those things that are high in sodium and things that have the pre-made sauces and the pre-made mixes. So the things that are going to bring you out color, the avocados, you want to have oats, flax seeds, and ginger. So those bright colors will draw you in. So you want to have those fresh foods in order to help you reduce your hypertension and high blood pressure.
Oh, very good information. Very helpful for everyone. Eric, as a caterer of Southern Spoons, as well as a retired director of marketing community affairs, which food choices do you suggest that could be weapons against high blood pressure?
Well, I agree with what she just said. There is a science to picking the nourishment that you're going to put into your body. One of the things I'm very keen on is understanding what you can use that isn't processed so much. I use a lot of fresh foods and a lot of different supplements for instance, salt. A lot of times I use lemon to give me the twang or the taste of salt. And I've learned that that's worked well to keep, the sodium down. It's mason jar cuisine.
Oh, yes. I was given the category, but I'm glad you gave us the name of your catering business.
Yeah, I've been doing it since, maybe about 32 years.
Oh, wow.
Started out in my kitchen. Well, it started out with my parents and how they used to shop. I mean, we've got to understand we live in a modern world now. Back in the day, and I don't mind giving my age, I was born in 52. We still had fresh fruit and vegetables that were displayed on the outside of markets. And you would go and you would pick those, and our parents would blanch or whatever. I'll never forget being a kid and our parents taking us to the fields where we picked string beans and strawberries, and we were doing those things then. Now it's about time. People don't think they don't have time, but you do. You really do have time to be discerning about what you're putting in your body.
That is so true. I totally agree. I remember my father had gardens, and he would want us to help him pick everything in the summertime or when they blossomed. And I was like, oh, God, do we have to? But now I wish I had that. I appreciate everything, all the vegetables, all the fruit. And my mother would sneak away and go to the grocery store sometime. And he would say, I know you just didn't go to the grocery store and you have olives right here in the garden. Yeah. But, I'm so appreciative of that concept and how then, like Eric, you said, they ate fresh then.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a native Washingtonian, and I can remember as a child, we had cherry trees in the neighborhood. We had pear trees in the neighborhood. Yes. We had apple trees in the neighborhood. We had boysenberry. We would go out along the fence in the backyard and pick mint.
Oh, yes.
So there was so much that we were doing that it was so wholesome for us.
Mm-hmm. So true. So true. Eric, which type of physical activities do you suggest?
Well, I dabbled a bit in the circuit, weightlifting and those kind of things. Due to a back injury, I had to switch up. And I reverted back to my younger years where my parents, especially my father, who was in the Army, taught me isometrics, calisthenics. Those are the things that we had in what was junior high school when we took gym. Push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks. And if you look at isometrics, the resistance. I mean, people are doing it with bands now. But my father would take us and show us how to line up against the wall and resist the pressure of pressing against the wall. I mean, you didn't have to have the latest of equipment. You worked with what you had, and that was gravity, inertia. And it worked. And I've gone back to that because of my constraints now. I've gone back to isometrics and calisthenics, and it helps keep me toned.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Isn't it amazing how everything comes back full circle?
It really does. It really does.
Nothing new.
People they've shunned those things because they don't understand those things, and they've moved to the quick fixes, you know. Whereas there are things you can do on a daily basis, and you don't have to do 1,000 reps. You do enough.
Right. Exactly. I'm telling you. Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. Karida, let's discuss in reducing synthetic medicine intake, which supplements could one take to lower blood pressure?
Well, I definitely like Super Beats. I love Super Beats, but talking about supplements, everyone, this is a busy time. Everyone's always on the go. And as much as everyone would like to eat all the foods that have probiotics in it that will help your digestive system, which also reduces blood pressure, sometimes you may not have that time within the day to do so. So in thinking of a supplement, there are supplements such as probiotics that you can take that can help reduce your hypertension, but you always want to make sure that it has 10 plus CFUs, which are the colony forming units in it. So you want to make sure that you have the right amount of probiotics in the product that you're taking, but you can also use the ginger supplements and garlic supplements. And some people don't always like to or always have the time to chop up the fresh ginger, or they're a little bit lacking in knowledge on how to incorporate the fresh ginger and fresh garlic. There are certain supplements that you can take, but it's always important to know it's better to cook with fresh garlic than to use garlic powder or garlic salt, So although you may be busy, it's time to start learning how to incorporate the supplements and the fresh food to keep you going. To be able to strengthen your health needs, because as a silent killer of high blood pressure, sometimes you may not even know. So it's time to get your thought process and eating these things healthier now, choosing better choices now rather than later.
Totally agree. It's so interesting that you mentioned the digestive system. And as thinking back 3 weeks ago, we also did a bonus episode on staying healthy at home during the coronavirus lockdown. Yes. And Carrie McGovern, a nurse in Boston, who's on the front line helping to fight this pandemic, she mentioned that the digestive system, of course, is connected to every system in the body, and to keep yourself cleansed is key. So I'm glad you mentioned the digestive system. Also, keeping that healthy helps to reduce blood pressure levels.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that, Karida.
Sure.
And one of the things I'd like to add to that is water.
Right.
Yes.
Water is so important in your digestive system, in flushing your kidneys, which is the filter for your body.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yes.
That's where discipline comes in. When you go to reach, you're thirsty, and you go to reach for something to quench that thirst. That's where discipline comes in.
Yes.
And that's when you choose water over soda.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Too often, and I think you can probably relate to this, you drink a soda, you're still thirsty.
That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a habit.
Then you have to go get some water.
Exactly.
And that's the one thing that will quench your thirst.
Right. That is the one thing that quenches your thirst. And you know what, Eric, that is so true. The discipline, creating a new habit, a positive habit.
Yes. And understand your body. Their bodies are not meant to last forever. And just like an automobile, it's a fine-tuned instrument. And you have to pay attention and know what your needs are. You were talking about the beets. I hated beets growing up. However, what I found was I substituted, stopped drinking so much coffee, and I started substituting low sodium drinks like V8. where I could get a hodgepodge of vegetables at one time, beets being part of what they use to make V8.
Oh, yes. And thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing the substitutes as opposed to drinking soda so easily. And during these times, that's what I like about the lockdown, is because I think it's encouraging people to be more disciplined in what they eat, drink, and what they think about. So if we take it as an opportunity to grow and mature in positive ways, I think we're going to come out as winners on the other side.
Right.
No doubt. No doubt. Any ideas on helping people to rest better?
Yeah. Regimen. And again, discipline. I was a police officer for many years, and I worked a rotating shift. So I worked 3 to 11, then I'd work 7 to 3. And then, I also had the midnight shift. And I could tell the difference in my body. When I retired from law enforcement, I understood that I need to go to bed at the same time every night in order to make sure that I'm getting in between 6 to 8 hours of good sleep.
Right.
You make sure that you try not to eat after, at the most, 8 o'clock at night. For your digestive system to work properly. And, when you sleep and if you eat so late, a lot of that food sits there and it migrates and it turns into fat because you're not as active and you're not burning those calories. So sleep is very important. And it also helps your mental state and lets you make those kind of choices that are good for you.
Absolutely. Eric, any resources you'd like to share with us?
Well, I can tell you this. There are so many, with the advent of the internet, you have so many avenues to explore and find out what's a best fit for you. Not everyone needs the same regimen. We've had a debate lately about whether to eat breakfast. Some are saying, yes, eat breakfast. Some are saying, if you're not hungry, don't eat breakfast. We have learned to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at certain times. And I think that comes from trying to take in sustenance around work.
Mm-hmm.
So, you automatically are going to eat at 9. You're automatically going to eat lunch at noon. You're automatically going to eat dinner at 6. Mm-hmm. Those things vary from individual to individual, depending on your metabolism.
That's so true. So true. Karida, any resources you'd like to share with us?
Well, I just want to piggyback off of what he said. You do have so much information and so much research. So I definitely use WebMD and Healthline, and I like to use sources that can back it up with the study. So so that whatever you're reading, that they actually have proof that you can dig back into, that there's a study, so that it's just not an assumption, or a blog where someone's assuming that this is what it does. But you need to have some facts behind it, because this is what you're putting into your body. And it's going to change your lifestyle. So just do some research on it and, dig a little deeper, and definitely take some effort into, we all put effort into how we look, what clothes we wear. We're planning out the next day. Plan out your meals. Plan out how you eat, so that you can eat and look healthier, and that's really what's important, is just trying to, we plan out what our next hairstyle is going to be, or when we're going to go ahead and take this next trip. Plan out what you're going to eat and how you're going to do things. So do some research behind it.
Very good.
And don't be fooled to think that what you put in your body is not displayed on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
When you got those pimples, when you got those bags under your eyes.
That's so true.
People will say, what are you doing? Your skin, you look so young. It's about what I put in my body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's displayed on the outside. If I don't get enough sleep, I've got bags under my eyes.
That's so true. That is so true.
Putting a lot of toxins in my body, it's coming out of my pores.
Yeah. So true. So true. And we have to invest in ourselves. We have to.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Eric and Karida, for hanging out with us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Join us next week for the episode Body Boost, Eating to Destroy Diabetes. Remember, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.